See how we're doing this morning. Ah, that was quick. Edwin, 553. What you got? Yeah, let's start with the Sicilian. Takes right away. He's going to play the Smith-Morra Gambit. Yeah, so I'm going to decline with knight f6. This transposes into that line of the Alpine Sicilian I was talking about recently. So he didn't bother to take back right away. Let's see, I think you need to play d6 before you play knight to c6. Try and take some control over that square. So if this... Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't matter. But d6 is part of the plan anyway. So if I go knight to c6 now, he can take. He's not immediately threatening the pin. So I go here, he takes, I unpin, he probably takes here. Which is a little bit annoying. So I go here, he takes, maybe I kick the bishop. Yeah, the bishop can't maintain that pin. The knight's covering the retreat square of the bishop. Okay, so he doesn't do anything radical. He just develops his queen. Seems fine. I should pin this knight maybe. Threaten to... no, I think I should resolve the situation here first. With that bishop. Ask it where it's going. So he takes. Yeah, let's see if Twitch shows me play yet. Yeah, it looks like I'm up there. Okay. So he developed his bishop. Now I can develop this bishop without too much worry. Don't need to bring it back for a pin. So let's round up the pawn. That was kind of clever. There's a pin on this e-file. I was planning to take back with the pawn there, but obviously not possible. But I can round it up with the bishop, it looks like. Might want to play knight to d5 there, hitting his bishop. That might be a good move. Or just bishop takes pawn. Well, knight d5 first. That comes with tempo, right? Puts the knight on a secure square. And I can take here and get castled, and everything looks pretty good. And if he just takes my bishop, then he kind of wasted a move retreating his bishop and then bringing it back. So I got this knight d5 in for free. Or if he finds a way to use the bishop there, that would be different. So should I take this knight? I take the knight, he takes with the queen, I castle. Take the knight, he takes with the queen, I take here. And stay a pawn up. No hurry to castle. Now I can castle. And if he takes my knight, I'll have 2 pawns in the center. And he'll have 2 against 1 on the queen side, so he might hope for some endgame play over there. Okay, so yeah, you noticed that was a weakness, that pawn. I was going to play rook b8. I might play it anyway. Looks like this bishop isn't going anywhere, so let's just trade it off so my queen isn't tied down all the time. And then, okay, well, if he takes that way, I should make sure I keep the f-pawn defended here. Okay, he's setting up potential tactics like knight f6 if, say, he puts the queen over here. What to do? Let's bring the rook out. And do I really care about that pawn? Well, let's hold on to it and also look to double here. There we go. I have queen to a7, setting up something on this diagonal maybe. That's interesting. Here I was just going to play a5. If he takes, I take the rook, so he can't take. If he pushes, I take the pawn. If he does nothing, I take the pawn. Okay. So it looks like I get to dissolve my weaknesses over here. I can grab here, he can grab here. Well, trade first and then take there. And I have the check. I have to watch out for his check. Just wondering if there's something clever I can do with my knight and queen and all of that. Maybe I just defend this pawn. Yeah, wherever I go to defend the pawn, it looks like his knight will get a tempo move against me. Oh, here, I could defend it from here. It's a little bit weird walking into that pin, but his knight can't attack my queen there. Okay, let's see what Edwin comes up with here. Yeah, he goes with the knight move anyway. He's got here, here, and he's got the fork there. That's his idea. So is there a way around that? Say I take here, he takes, I take, he does the fork, I give a check. Oh, that's not a check, his rook is still there. Let's see, I go here, he takes, I take, yeah, his rook is still there. If I had a way to move my rook with tempo. But I don't. Okay, so let's move my queen away from those forks and protect against this fork here. Move away from that fork. Tricky, tricky. Ah, you know, I should just grab there with the knight. That's what I should do. Yep. Let's do it now. Threatening to take here. I'm not threatening to take there. I was saying I threatened to take there with check, but he's got the rook there. And he has that fork. Oh, after the fork I have the check. And darn, that's no good. It's just no good. Yeah, it doesn't work. He bluffed. The bluff worked. Okay, so this should win, finally. He resigned. Yeah, I was totally losing there. Here, let's go back to the analysis board. He had to play, what did he have to play here? Well, he played the fork, that's right. I went there. He can just take it. He's just up a piece. I have the check. But I can't take the knight because he has a mate threat here. So I have to stop and do something like that. And then he can move his knight away. Let's see, well, I'll have 2 pawns against the knight, but not so good. Well, anyway, let's get another game here. Guy got me over 1800 again. Hello, Wolf Spain. How's it going? I just sort of go on when I can, when I have time. I do some streaming, usually in the mornings. This Saturday I'm not going to be streaming. I've got, I'm just not going to be here, traveling. Okay, Queen's Gambit. Slav defense. That looks like we get a normal line here. Maybe I should have played, I'll do it now, e3, so I can take back with the bishop here. It's not necessary because you can still play those positions, but I'm just avoiding those positions where, you know, black gets some kind of initiative with taking the pawn and playing b5 and sometimes going on to b4. But this line is okay. This is like a Moran variation. Yeah. But it's not the same. There are some differences here. He never played e6. This bishop is still shut in. I think I can play here. It's often good if you can get e4 in these positions. Then let's go ahead and castle now. Then, do I want to put my bishop here, play here, and then trade off the dark squared bishops? His light squared bishop can become a good piece in these positions, so it's not like he'll be left with a bad bishop. Maybe I just go here first. And try and get a good square for my knight like this. And he can hop his knight into b4, although I'll play a move to prevent that. Give it another chance, but he could play knight b4 right now. Okay, he doesn't. Let's stop him from playing knight b4. I would probably have had to retreat my bishop there, which is not all bad. Sometimes that's a good thing to play anyway. Yeah, so he's going for the classic undermining here. Oh yeah, he's a pretty good player. He knows what he's doing here, I guess. So I take knight takes. And bishop here, he takes this bishop. Or bishop here, you could take and take back. And let's play the bishop out first. Open up the c1 square for my rook. Threaten to just take on c5. So he can push on to c4, kick this bishop back, or he can take. Leave me with a weak e-pawn that he can try and undermine. Good. Both viable strategies. He decides to take. I think taking with the bishop is okay. It's not yet a loose piece. The knight defends it. This is not yet loose. The bishop defends that. It's feeling a little shaky here in the center. But I want to get rook c1 in, that I could retreat this bishop back to b1 if necessary. And he wants to do that right away. Okay, I think it's more important for me to develop than to defend that bishop. So he can grab the bishop pair now. If he doesn't take it now, I'll drop the bishop back to b1. And he gets castled. So now, yeah, he eliminated this threat. I do have knight here. No, I don't. Because bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. Knight here, he takes. I take with the pawn. And this bishop is looking at this square. And then I can play the other knight there. No, he still has bishop or queen takes in that case, because this knight will have been disappeared. Knight here, bishop takes, pawn takes, and I'm not really even threatening knight g4. So what to do here? Knight to c5 is possible. Knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. The queens are facing off against each other. Maybe it's not possible. Let's see, knight there. I probably have to take with the bishop. No, my queen's just loose there. Let's step aside with the queen. And bring the rook to the center. So I can just drop the bishop back and put a knight on d6. That might be useful. And bishop takes, take with the rook, so I don't have this pawn that's so far advanced that I can't support it. Okay, so he is thinking of trading rooks maybe. Let's block. Well, I wanted to drop the bishop back anyway, so my rook had a view of the d6 square. Ah, so he puts his bishop there. So he's doesn't like my plan. Doesn't like it. Okay, let's try something different then. Yeah, I think bishop here followed by queen here. Queen f4 and knight g5. Might be interesting. Threatening, threatening on f7. Bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes, right? I've got it covered, so he can't take. Yeah, let's try this. He can take here. So knight here, bishop takes, or knight here, bishop takes, knight takes. It's a question of which knight would I rather have. I guess I would rather have a knight here. Oh, he can't take. I take it all back. His bishop is pinned because he moved his knight away to defend h7, but f7 is the problem now. He can trade. Bishop takes, knight takes, and then worry about how to defend f7 then. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what black should do here. Let's see, what are other ideas? If he moves the knight to attack my queen, I can actually play queen takes f7 check. He did that anyway. Maybe it's good. But let's go ahead and grab that pawn. I mean, the thing is, everything else here is defended. So, though this check seems like a good idea, is there any real follow-up to it? Well, knight takes here, maybe. Bishop takes here. Knight takes here, I'm threatening mate. So he has to take. And then I take. And then, does he have any great discovery with this bishop? He can take here with this bishop. No great discoveries, right? Oh, he can't play bishop takes. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. I'm just threatening mate there. But his queen is hanging. He can play it. Let's see. So I'm a piece down. I can just take back. If I take his queen first, he takes my queen. So I have to take back. Okay, mutually hanging queen. So, but now his queen is hanging and he has to do something about it. So this is probably good for me. Bring the other knight in here. Now I get my queen out of trouble first, I guess. Okay, queen over there. He's looking at this pawn, which he can round up. And then, well, I'll still be one pawn up. It'll be 3 versus 2 over here. Let's drop back with my queen. And also have to worry about, can he sacrifice over here? Like if plays knight takes, can I play bishop takes? He plays queen takes. I play rook takes. He plays rook takes, and I'm mated in the back rank. So I think I need to give myself a flight square here with the king. Okay, let's just take that and play here. Yeah, so we got the pawn back. So now what to do? Hard to say, actually. I'd like to get his knight over near the king. Maybe I should have brought the queen all the way back and just traded off a pair of rooks there. Somehow his queen is in a good position there. He moved the queen away. Okay, so let's trade rooks. His king is trapped on the back rank there. Okay, he's looking at that tactic there, right? The check. I lost on time. Let's see. So I was about to play this move, and then I don't know what his follow-up is. I mean, I'm just a pawn up here. I have to consolidate a little bit, but that check was annoying, and I didn't spot it in time. Well, let's get another game here. Let's get another game. Edwin, didn't I just play Edwin? Let's play e4, e5. Oh, a Vienna game. Might transpose into an Italian game depending on how he plays here. I'm going to just stop the pin so that I can play bishop to c5 without worrying about his bishop to g4. Now he plays that move. Okay. So if I play the counter move, pawn to d5, he's got it covered, right? Takes, I take, he takes. Yeah, he's got it covered. So I'm just going to develop my bishop and castle. If he takes here, I'll take with the knight. If he attacks the pawn, I will defend it. So he's attacking the bishop. I'm just going to drop back here. He can get the bishop here, and I'll get the open file for my rook. Edwin playing quickly here. So he goes for the clamp. Now he doesn't have his knight covering the square anymore, so I can play d5 here. Pawn takes, knight takes. Leaves me with a weak e-pawn, but I can also take his f-pawn. And if he doesn't take, then I can take. And we'll see how this works out. But anyway, this pawn here was a little strong around my king side. I didn't like it, so I wanted to undermine it. Now bishop takes defends the knight, so just attacking the knight doesn't help immediately. Anyway, maybe he's got something. Say rook e1, bishop here. If he manages to chase the knight away, then he's got the e-pawn in the sights of the rook. So he goes with the queen first. Okay, let's take that pawn. You know what he could do? He could just take here with his knight because it hits my bishop. I take his knight, he takes my bishop. Yeah, well spotted. So I think I should retreat my bishop, keep this knight defended. And he can trade here. I'm threatening to take here. He can take here. That's well spotted. So, and I can't move my king from that position. Can I block that bishop? No, I have no piece that will block the bishop. Yeah, it looks like Edwin is going to get his revenge here. Edwin's revenge. You can take with either the bishop or the rook. I'm not sure which is better. Maybe bishop. And, well, at least I'm not getting checkmated here, but I'm down the exchange. Let's see, I have a check here. He can block with the bishop. And I had knight here. The reason why taking with the bishop I thought was better is because knight to d4 forks the queen and the bishop there. Might have been annoying. So he puts his bishop there anyway. Well, it's a good square. So let's activate my rook here. And I'll start by lifting the queen up. I guess it didn't make sense to me to immediately lift the rook up. Didn't see that it had any targets here. So I'm going to bring the rook over this way to f8. Put some pressure on the bishop. Maybe play the knight here or the knight here to get some more pressure. Got to use my extra pieces, which are the knights. He's got 2 rooks. I've got 2 knights. He's got 2 bishops, and I only have 1. Did I end up losing a piece there? Let's count again. Queen, queen, rook, rook. He's got a rook and 2 pieces. Yeah, oh, I'm a whole rook down. Yeah, I miscounted that. So I was going to run here. Maybe there. I was thinking I was just down the exchange. Because when I took there, did he grab a piece there? I thought I get the knight for the rook. What is this balance here? 2 rooks and 3 pieces. 2 rooks and 3 pieces. I take a rook. Goes there. Goes there. So I've got 3 pieces. He has 2 pieces. Oh yeah, I'm just down the exchange. So what did he play? Oh, he played his bishop there. Okay, so he's getting away from trouble. Let's force an exchange here. Well, it doesn't force an exchange, but it encourages one. It also sets up a pin against the bishop there. Ah, he dropped back. Yeah, if he took my knight and I took back, his pawn would have been hanging there. But that's probably good for him anyway. So knight here attacking the bishop, he can take with the queen. I take here with check. Yeah, let's bring the other knight in. So now the queen takes is not an option. So when I play here, he's got to defend the bishop. So I can move this with check, but sadly he can take with the queen. Let's see, if I move the knight to defend it, and he takes, I take. Looks like that leads to a lot of simplification. Also, the rook check on the back rank is a problem. So we'll defend this way. Now if I go here with check, and he plays queen takes, I can take the rook. Takes back, I take with check. Yeah, it basically loses a piece. So if I just move my queen to the side, though, he will... if I just move my queen to the side, he will have... he can just take the knight. It's under defended. So launches the... okay, let's unpin here. This sets up something against his queen. Let's see if he can find his way out of this one. I think, yeah, wasn't he the player that surrendered too soon in the first game? Oh no, he had a good position and he made a mistake in the first game. Towards the end, when he was winding it up. Yeah, so I was thinking I could play the knight check here now. I was expecting that kind of. So knight check. If he moves the queen, I can take here with check. But if he just takes with the pawn, I take his queen, he takes my queen. So that's not so great. Yep, so now his queen can move with check, sadly. So, I mean, his bishop can move with check, so I need to get away from that threat. So what do we know? Queen, rook, bishop versus queen, rook, and two bishops. Yeah, I'm down a piece now. And yeah, he stepped aside. What can I do? I don't know. So I can avoid the immediate trade here by playing this way. He's got control of this square with his bishop, so it's a little bit uncomfortable for my king there. And he's covered the f2 square. So he came back. Not quite sure what to do. Yeah, push these pawns maybe. I always have this check here. Oh, he blocks with the bishop. So he's going there. Well, let's shut this out. It's losing the bishop. Another lucky win for me. Wow. Well, thank you, Edwin, for the game. No comments. Okay, yeah, let's play. Stazam. Yeah, let's start with e4. Sicilian. Let's do an open Sicilian. Okay, we got the main line. The Najdorf. I'm going to go for an English attack against the Najdorf. I think this is quite an easy way for white to play, and it gets you a pretty good attack. So why not play it? I'm going to go ahead and castle. He's doing some quick pawn moves here, maybe hoping to get some initiative. And I'm going to start pushing my pawns on the other side. You probably should castle at some point. Can get into trouble if you don't. If you go for a long time without castling. Although maybe that's his way of avoiding the kingside attack, is to not castle. But at this point, castling would be castling into it, as they say. Castling into the attack. But the center opens up here. Okay, so he wants to hold the center that way. I can push this pawn aside. He blocks that way. I'm still going to play the move G4, G5 here. So he takes, I take, and I can trade off the knight and get a knight here. So I think I was just wondering whether I should play rook G1 first or not. But I think just pushing immediately is the way to play it. And so he's lining up there, and that makes sense. So let's take. Is he going to take with the pawn? If he takes with the pawn, then it does. Okay, so I'm going here, and he takes it, and I take. Then I'm getting mated here. So I need a move to defend C2. Sadly, it must be defended. So maybe rook C1 is the move. Oh, well, now I don't need to defend it. There we go. And then he has a bad bishop, and I have pressure on the e-pawn here. And he never castled. That's true. He managed to avoid castling. I wonder, best defense might be this one, actually. We'll see if his king side holds. It should fall apart at some point. Okay, let's defend the c-pawn like this. Pretty solid defense. And he's got this pawn solidly defended too. But his bishop is only on this diagonal. Maybe I can take advantage of that in some way. He did castle. I was wondering if he might just castle. So this pawn is pinned. So I have an idea here. I can play rook to g6, threatening to take his bishop, threatening to take here. So he goes there. So the threats are still in place, right? Aha. He might have tried rook up, but I guess he doesn't have a good place to put his rook, does it? Does he? Okay, so his center is falling apart now. This should be good for me. It is opposite colored bishops. So what's the best way to play this? Let's take here. The e-pawn will come forward with a check. Or just queen check might also be good. If I could get the queens off, this would be an excellent position for me. So he hits the queen. So I can do the queen check now. Let's think about this. Queen check, queen takes, pawn takes. It's really just a one pawn advantage. If I move the queen aside and he takes here, I can push forward with check. This king goes to the back rank. I can take here with check. So maybe queen here. Defends this rook, but also I'm setting up, I have pieces on these two diagonals here. His king could go to g. No, his king can't go to g8. So I was thinking, or if it does, it hangs the bishop. I was thinking pawn forward. So the king goes to g8, then I can take on h6. If his king goes to h8, maybe I can still take on h6. Ah, he can grab that pawn. That's true. I was thinking he might take here, but he takes that pawn. Okay, well, let's get this move in. And he blocks. So that pawn is pinned. This pawn needs to be defended. And let's defend it. So I'm just one pawn up here. His king, though, I think his king is in worse shape than mine. Should be worth something. I could grab this pawn anytime, I guess. But not with so much force on the board. I need to make sure I've got things under control here. So it's not really threatening my rook just yet, but it is a bit annoying. So I take here with check. He takes. I take here with the rook. I have an idea. Maybe I'll put the rook over here. So I'm using the bishop to support my rook there. Yeah, that was not a good idea. Oh, maybe it was a good idea. Well, I can take here with check. So what's the material? I have a bishop and a rook here. I guess the problem is his bishop is threatening to take my rook. So let's move that away. And my other problem is here, the back rank. But I'm a queen. I'm up a queen for a rook, so I'm better here. If I don't blow it. So let's just drop down, covering the back rank. So I can move the bishop away if his bishop moves. Yeah, it did. So where to with my bishop? Yeah, maybe back to this square. And there we go. Now my king is safe and I can get my queen into the game. And my bishop is well anchored there. My rook is maybe a bit loose there, but I'm thinking queen f2. Oh, he just wants to trade. That is fine. Queen f2, and looking at the bishop and maybe the pawn over here. I'll take these pawns and then maybe queen over here. That's probably the simplest way. He can set up some kind of fortress with the rook and bishop. It's a little tricky to actually win, but with just a queen against a rook, when he's got a couple of pawns, he can set up a fortress. So the way to win this is to take these pawns, queen another pawn, win that way. So he got his check-in. Okay, let's get this pawn going here. So it's not about taking pawns, it's about clearing a path for this pawn. He's going to chase my queen around. Okay, ran out of time. I don't think he had any ideas there. Eventually, I would find a way to work that pawn forward. I was just trying to keep this a5 square covered. He could have... let's go to the analysis board. He could have made life difficult for me like this. I can't go here. If I go here, he repeats. I guess I can go here. Or here. And finally, there's no threat to my queen that he can play. Bishop here, I take it. Bishop here, I take it. So... it's still troublesome. It's still trouble. There's a lot the rook and the bishop can do to harass the queen, I guess. Anyway, I should win that somehow. Okay, we'll see if we can get another game here. Fairs Boshala 9. Oh, strong player. Let's start off with e4. Rui Lopez. Looks like he's going for the main line. Now he's playing this G6 sideline. I think that's the Smyslov variation. It seems to have come back into style. I don't know how to play against it. I'm just going to castle here. He's not attacking this pawn. So I can build up in the center here. Stop the pin. And now I can play d4, can I not? d4, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. This is not hanging. After knight takes, I suppose I have to throw in bishop takes check. Yeah, let's just go for the big center. He attacks this pawn. Let's defend it. And he castles. So it looks like he's played this before. I'm going to do something that's often considered not good. I'm just going to close the center and trade off this light squared bishop. And I'm going to claim that his remaining piece, his remaining bishop, is not a good piece. It's blocked in behind these pawns. He'll try and liberate with f5 at some point. And he's got control of the f5 square already. I could consider a move like g4 to stop that. Let's bring the bishop out. I was wondering about knight to d2 versus developing the bishop. Yeah, so he's preparing, he is preparing to play f5. So if I play g4, he plays that. I take, he takes, I take, knight takes. Let's take there first. And then play g4. Try and make it hard for him. And knight d2 will support my knight, which at the moment is undefended. King e2 is possible. I mean, king g2 is possible as well. If he pushes his g-pawn forward, then things will just lock up over here. Well, he stopped to think. That's my goal, playing these stronger players who blitz out the moves. Make them stop and think. It was move 15 before he got there, but eventually I did it. He plays there anyway. Yeah, that's what he was thinking about, I guess. So rook there. He's got this check. No, he doesn't have that check. He has rook here hitting my pawn. I have king up. Let's do the king up first. My queen's defending the knight. My rook can come to g1. The knight can come to d2. He has a dark squared bishop. That's the problem here. Let's pin that bishop. Oh, I have to defend the knight first. The problem is he can push this pawn. Or attack my knight. So the rook has to go there. I guess the pawn push is not such a threat because of the pin. Knight takes here, he can take there with check. Knight takes here, he can take here with check. Rook takes here, I guess, is the move. He can take with the knight. If I go there, he's got check by taking. I don't know. Tricky position. All those checks. That's the point. So he's unpinned. And he got rid of my knight. So I'm down to queen and rook versus queen, rook, and bishop. And I'm under attack. I think I'll resign there. That was pretty convincing. It's oh, wrong button. It's a dangerous setup, I guess. That G4 move just didn't work out. Clear minute. Just a clear minute. That's all I need. Okay, e4, e5. Maybe we'll get the other side of a Ruy Lopez, but no, it looks like he's playing on bishop's opening. Could transpose into an Italian game or a Vienna game, or it could be its own thing. Yeah, this is his own thing here. I think you can take there, but it's tricky. So pawn here defends the knight and attacks the bishop. Takes en passant, you can take back. You can take with the bishop. And now, is there some trick here? I was trying to remember. Queen here is not check. Bishop here is check. Knight could go here. And does he have checks? Not really, but he could bring his queen out. And but if he brings his queen out to attack my knight, I can take his bishop. Takes here, I take with the knight. I'm going to play c6 when I get a chance, I guess, to kick that bishop back. So he's actually a pawn up here. I grabbed a pawn and he got two. How did that happen? Oh, because he took here. And then I played there and he took there. Yeah, okay, so maybe that wasn't the right move. Yeah, it's, these positions are tricky. The check here might interfere with the defense of the bishop. Right, he can't block with the bishop or the knight here. He could put the knight there. I do the check first, but he might just block with the pawn. And if I take there, he can take back with the queen and have to worry about defending. Defending f2, but well, that's the way it is. f7. I have to defend f7 here. So I can take here with check. And maybe he can take here. Mr. Clear Minute. Looks like I fell into some kind of opening trap here. Yeah. Or did he fall into the trap? Who's trapping who here? That's an interesting game. So he has to block the check. Afterwards, I can take the bishop. So we got a bishop. I got a bishop and he got 2 pawns because he had one already and he got another one. Just a clear minute here. He'll have some development too. So it won't be entirely clear. Yeah, well, this is clear. Just get the bishop, get the queens off. So I have better chances in the endgame with the extra piece against the pawns. He should have played knight here right away. I'll have to scramble to make sure my rook didn't get trapped. He wanted to defend that pawn there. Okay, so now I can move the knight out. He can play knight here. Maybe I still need to push my knight here. To protect this square. If I just develop my knight normally, and he plays knight to b4, I can, knight b5, I can defend. I was worried about knight b5 to c2 there, but I can defend that pawn. Okay, and he paused to defend his pawn. Let's control the b5 square. He can come into d5. I can just defend here. And let's get castled. There he goes. So he puts his rook behind the pawn. Okay, his rook is defended. I can castle here. My bishop is defended. This is what I meant by his development. See, he's got all his pieces out, and I'm still struggling a bit to coordinate here. Okay, so let's put some pressure on that knight. Now maybe I'm threatening a discovery with this bishop. So he just traded it off. That backfired. Yeah, that was a cool tactic, but it didn't work out. That opening. Aha. Okay, I think I can still survive this. If he took my knight, I would take and mate. So, did not work. Okay, so let's give my king some luft. Actually, I should have just played king f8 there, huh? rook can't stay there. I won't have it. He was going to push that pawn forward, I suppose, and take on c7. I think that was his plan. Yep, the rook has to go back. So now I can attack this pawn. He can attack my bishop. Let's bring my king in. That's what I saw. Okay, let's attack his king. I mean, his rook. Attack his rook. He can go there. I could threaten mate. Let's just bring my king up. He could play a move like pawn here to harass my bishop. He can play it now, I mean. He's preparing it. So, I mean, if I play rook here, I can take here with check. Let's just come forward with the king. Okay, he wants to attack that pawn. Can defend that one too. Yeah, let's see if we can weaken some of his center pawns here. He just takes. Okay. There he goes. Okay, yeah, the knight needs to move. That's true. Okay, he's getting his king into the game. Let's bring my knight around. Maybe I can do something with it. That was a bad move. Walked right into yeah. Well, there was a couple of forks there that walked into. That was bad. That's annoying. Do I have anything clever here? He's just going to take that knight. Let's activate my rook. I want to get to the back rank and take on A2, or the second rank here. Yep, he can go there. Oh, he dropped back that way. That's interesting. I thought he was going to check me again with his bishop. Oh, I had that square covered. That's his idea, huh? Okay, I'm going for the opposite squared opposite colored bishop endgame. Plus I have some passed pawns over here. He has passed pawns over there, so we'll see whose passed pawns are better. It's not necessarily drawish, but he'll have a hard time advancing these pawns against my bishop here. And I'm a bit closer over here, it looks like. Mm-hmm, 21 seconds left. Yeah, so he locks it up like that. So it goes that way. Okay, can I step in with my king somehow? Probably not. Oh, you know what I can do? I can come over here and attack this pawn. So, but now I can't. Nobody can do anything here, says a dead draw. There's nothing that can be done. I don't know why he's playing different moves. You just repeat in a position like this. There was a fork. John Lightning. Yeah, I missed that fork. Gotta pay attention. All the time. There are a couple different forks. He's still playing. I'm not gonna run out of time. What is he up to? Yeah, I don't know. Crazy. Well, is he waiting for me to offer the draw? Yeah, I mean, he's the higher rated player and he has the extra pawn, so he should offer the draw. We could play for 50 moves. Ah, there he goes. Okay. Yep, that was a draw. So yeah, there's so many forks there in that position. Let's go to the analysis board. Let's go back. And I just walked right into them. So it was a win from the opening. He played an interesting gambit line. And, well, actually, I think I played badly at first, and he was up a pawn, but then he played a tactic that didn't work and lost a piece. And so we end up in this endgame where I'm a piece up. And I should just win it. We're trading pawns here. I go there. Yeah, that's exactly this move. Move 32. Yeah, the fork I was seeing was this one. The rook could come there and fork those two pieces. I didn't have an answer to that. And then the rook he played is equally good. Boom. Supported by the rook. So so pretty much anything here but that move is okay, I guess. I mean, this is defended twice. This is loose. I mean, I could, if I wanted to liberate my rook a little bit, I could go like this. He can't take the pawn because he has to defend the bishop. The bishop can move with tempo. Maybe he wins a pawn. Yeah, I was forgetting that goes with check. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, this position, I guess. I don't want to give him another pawn here. Yeah, or if I just moved, he could take right away with check. So I should probably move my king somewhere. Yeah, maybe bringing my king over to the queen side here is an idea. just play on from here. I could move my bishop up and bring my king over. Try and sneak into the position. Blockade those pawns. Somehow I have to coordinate my pieces. I mean, I was hoping my knight would go like this and come in here and attack these pawns somehow. Or maybe this way. But yeah, it was a bad move. Okay, so let's see if we can get another game here. Let's try in English. C4. Anjani, 1799, so equal player. Yeah, I've been facing a lot of good players here. C4, E6, so that's kind of an anti-Botvinnik move. Oh, I can still play it now, it looks like. I mean, he can still get in that D5 move and bust things up, but we'll see what kind of position we get. He's putting all his pawns on light squares. I'm doing the same. I'm putting all my pawns on light squares. Well, no, that's not true. There's a little triangle of dark squared pawns here and light squared pawns here. Interesting. So he wants to chip away from that side. Yeah, that move is well timed. I want to play b6 to defend that pawn, but my knight... Oh, my knight is not hanging because of this knight. Ah, but he's threatening b5 after that. b5 to b4, and the knight is pinned. So if I push this, it's not hanging, but it's pinned. Okay, well, let's develop. It's not the end of the world to have a pawn there. Undefended on c5. Here, let's get my rook over. Now my knight is defended and unpinned, so I can play b3. Yeah, that was the move I was expecting for a while now. Thought he would play it sooner. And here's the question. Does he take with a pawn? Yeah. So he's a dynamic player. That's good. I think that's a good move by black. Taking with pawns, or pieces. Oh, that would probably just lead to more trades anyway. So he's got an IQP position. He has all the pieces still on, which is what you want. And then you want to try and get some kind of attack going. And oh, and I don't have a pawn here to restrain it, so it's a passed pawn. So I have to be careful about going to the end game here. Should try and get my activity going in the middle game. Okay, we'll start by blockading like this with the bishop. I'm thinking maybe knight here. And I could coordinate against this pawn. And okay, I'm going to trade the bishop in that case. And blockade with the knight. Got to keep that pawn blockaded, I think. I think that's going to be key here. So now it's defended twice, attacked twice. Let's back up. Could I have taken it here? Yeah, maybe I could have taken it. You might have been able to move that with tempo. Yes, I could have taken it. Yeah. Oh well, missed my chance. Too quick on the draw there. Here, let's activate my rook, hit his knight. Going there. Okay, he's looking at these squares, hitting the b pawn here. So I think I just chase it away, right? Don't need the b pawn on b2 anymore. I can move it to b3. So now, he's got it around to a defensive position, but that's okay. If he wants to be all about the defense, that can be all right. So I want to lift my queen up now. Where do I want to put it? Maybe queen out to g5. His bishop here is loose, so maybe I don't have to be so careful about keeping that pawn restrained. Bishop, queen here, knight here, or rook takes and then knight there. Oh, I can't go to g4. Well, maybe there's still some tactic here. Somehow. So maybe queen g4 directly would have been better. But I'm thinking a rook takes knight is a threat. Okay. And then here, oh, he's going to trade queens here. Well, rook takes knight with check. How does he answer that? He can't take it. He has to move the king. Yeah. So even though my queen is hanging, he doesn't have time to take it. Yeah, he resigned. So if he moves the king. Let's go to the analysis board. He moves the king here to unpin and threaten my knight, then I can just trade queens. And I'm just a piece up. There's time to save my knight. Well, I can't go back there. Let's be careful where I play it. Maybe here. Hitting the rook. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still got that covered. You know, actually, my knight, it's not so clear. Can I rescue my knight? Oh, it goes back here and blockades. Yeah, I can rescue the knight. Okay, next game. Vicentillo. Vicentillo? Yeah, let's try d5, see what it has. In the line, he plays a queen's gambit. That's good. Plays a normal line. I'm playing the Slav defense. So we're heading towards the Moran variation, unless he plays some anti-Moran move. No. This looks like a Moran. Yeah, it is. So I play the Moran variation with a6 here usually. Try to get in a quick c5. You can also play it with bishop to b7. Those are the two main moves there. Then here, I think you can play c5 right away. It's a bit risky. You haven't castled yet, and you're opening things up over here, but I think it's correct, actually, to immediately push. And white's move is normally pushing the pawn instead of castling. So both sides are trying to get a jump on the activity in the center and before taking a timeout to castle. Now he goes there. But he's kind of a step behind. Can I exploit this in some way? Take here, he's just going to take with the knight. Then I develop the bishop. And if this works out, then I'll get castled soon. Actually, I'll have a problem with this knight soon, won't I? Oh, it depends on where he goes. Maybe he's also looking at if he has discoveries with the bishop against my... If I take the knight and he moves this to attack something. Anyway, the danger here is white pushing on with e5, and say I play knight d5 and then trading and opening up the center here against my uncastled king. Maybe it's okay, because his light squared pawn. His e-pawn will still be here. Just goes back. So yeah, so I am gonna just castle, and if he pushes and gives me an isolated pawn, well, at least I should have an active position here. He does, yeah. That was probably the right move. Can play knight here. If he attacks it, I take. He plays rook here to defend. Yeah, I don't have any good follow-up after that. Well, after the exchange here, I can play rook to e8 and try and get pressure on that pawn. I can also play bishop to b7 anytime to get something on this diagonal, maybe. Support the d-pawn. Maybe push it forward and open up that file. Should be okay. The Moran variation leads to positions that are interesting for both sides. I played as white and as black. And I'm feeling okay now that I got castled, although he can inflict some pawn damage here. Oh, he goes for the check. I did not see that. Does it work? So I take, his knight comes in there with check. I go back. He brings his queen here, threatening mate. And where do I run to? I have to move my king, my rook to the side. He checks. I go here. He comes back here with check. I go here. And then he comes in with the knight. No. How does it go? Check here. Check here. And then he takes there. Yeah, this is good. So the other line would be I take, he comes with check, I go forward. His queen can come here with check. Or his queen can come here behind the pawn. I can play f5 maybe. I'm going to take on passant. Yeah, let's try this. It'll be interesting. That way I thought was maybe okay. Maybe I get to walk out of here. Do I get out of here alive? So the knight hitting the queen is very helpful. And yeah, so now he's threatening a knight check, winning my queen. And can I step away from the check? Well, I could do something like move the queen away so that his check here doesn't hit the queen, and that it just hits the rook. Or I could step my king to the side, but I don't like those moves. Let's move the queen. And I'm threatening bishop here to chase his queen away so that the discovered check will not be so nasty. Yeah, it actually takes all the sting out of the discovered check, although the knight here is a double check, so I'll still have to move my king, but it takes away other moves. So he's going to search for the best continuation here. Yeah, these queen's pawn positions you always got to look out for. always got to look out for the that attack. The Greek gift sacrifice, that's what it's called. Yeah, so I think I just take here with the king. It's nice to have the knights like that defending each other. And what is it? 1, 2, 3 pawns against 5. So we got 2 pawns, and he has let's see, he's got 2 rooks and 2 pieces. I have 1 rook and 4 pieces. So I have 2 pieces for a rook and 2 pawns. And he decides to simplify there. And I could counterattack his queen, but see, he takes my queen, I take his queen. He can move his bishop with check. No, he can't. I take it. So he takes my queen, I take his queen. He takes my bishop, I take his bishop, and we're just into an endgame there. Not sure. What's better? Where's the bishop? Oh, I haven't moved my bishop yet. being pretty silly here. I almost let my time run out, thinking I'd made a move there. So I want rook e8, I guess. He's got this pin, so if he attacks the other knight, I have to unpin or move it or defend it in some way. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Maybe king. No, the king wants to stay in touch with the pawn. I guess if he attacks this knight, I have to move it. Yeah. Or defend it with the queen, maybe. How about this one? Might be nice to have a little counter threat here against his queen. His king, rather. I think if he sacrifices here, it's not going to be so good. Okay, so I get my chance to get the rook in there. Yeah, he's taking there, so he's looking to take the knight. I'll take the knight. I think I can take here. And rook to e2, gang up on g2 there. That one, yeah, it's true. That is a move. Oh, checks. Let's go here. Have an idea. If the queen comes back, I can play rook to g4 like this. Yeah, that was my idea. And now he's falling apart here. Oh, he's going to sue for peace, maybe. No, he's survived it all, huh? Oh, he can just take that. Yeah. Blitz games. Okay, a little bit more secure over there. Let's attack this pawn. The extra piece can come in handy. So he wants me to take so he can check. He can't check because my bishop covers that square. Okay, what here? I think I'm just going to get rid of this pawn to simplify my life. Maybe we're just in a drawn game here unless he blunders into some kind of fork. But that's what it is. What can I say? And get my king over to the right side of the board. And, you know, the one thing his king and rook combination are good at is keeping me kind of sealed off. But I'm managing to maneuver my pieces around. Okay, so my my knight is locked in. With the yeah, I want to get to this square. Yeah, I'm not making it easy for myself. Oh yeah, I can play there with the check. There, we're almost there. Yeah, well, I got to this square anyway. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, get some pressure on that pawn. Okay. Try and improve my king position again. I'm just going to repeat moves if he wants to. He lost on time. Oh, yeah, I would have just repeated moves there. That's a drawn position, or it should be. Vicentillo. So, a couple lucky wins there. Actually, quite a few this this blitz stream. Yeah, let's play another game or two. Yeah, I got time. Hey, Wolf Spain, we'll see you next time. And you have a good weekend too. Oh, got a strong player here. Arson till 18. I'm going to try a Catalan. I'm going to stay with my resolution of playing a Catalan, although I don't know if it's called a Catalan anymore when you play it against the Slav. But that's what I'm going to play. It's a Catalan when you play it against the Queen's Gambit declined. Otherwise, I'm just making the moves of the Catalan here. There's some of the same ideas, it looks like. It looks like I can still get a knight to E. Knight to E 5 here if he allows it. If he plays b5 to hold on to the pawn, for example, I have knight e5. Okay, so we covered queen c2. So I could consider going with knight to a... Yeah, let's try this. He hasn't pushed his e-pawn forward yet, so I can try this, I guess. See if he wants to defend that c-pawn or let me have it. What's it going to be? Are you giving the pawn back or are you going to hold on to it? He's giving the pawn back. Okay. Then this should be okay. You even have a good square on e5 for that knight. Say b3, bishop b2. And that's very exciting. Do I have a good discovery against the queen? Like knight here? Oh, you like the king's gambit. Cool. Well, I'm glad you got some mileage out of that. You know, this looks very suspicious, but knight here, his queen just moves and takes my knight. So I guess I have to defend my knight. Looks like there ought to be something there, but I didn't see it. You know, knight here, knight to h4 defends my bishop and attacks his queen. Anyway, yeah, these gambit lines are very cool, are very excellent blitz weapons. I recommend the Scotch gambit too. Check out the Scotch gambit. Since I played that myself quite a bit, although I haven't played it recently. Maybe I should revive that. Okay, and he's just piling up on my poor knight. Ooh, scary. That's a funny move, isn't it? Chase the queen away. I don't like his bishop there. Could just castle. I mean, if he takes the knight and I take back, hitting his queen, it's nothing to be scared of. And I could play knight to h4 here to resolve some of these issues. So instead of knight to e3, which is like a one-time chase the queen away thing, maybe I could go here, knight to e5, and see what his plans are over on the king side. Yeah, I should have thought of that. Should have thought of that. So now I want to hit the queen, huh? And then I can't. Gotta buy myself time, and I can't. Okay, so rook here, bishop takes, and then I have some clever knight discovery, but is it any good? Knight here, queen moves, knight takes here. I don't know. Let's play it. This will be fun. And well, I simply could go knight here. He moves the queen, and then I take the bishop. But I wanted to go forward here. Takes the pawn. Oh, that's probably going to be good for him. Let's go here. Which one? This one, I guess. Maybe he gives me the rook in the corner. He says I can have the rook for a knight. If I take here, hitting the queen, he can take my knight, or he could just trade queens and then take the knight. Okay, so let's take the rook. And well, I'll take the pawn. One, two, three, four, five, six. And I'll have a rook and 3 pieces, and he'll have a rook and 4 pieces. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, pawn for a piece. That's not good. If only there was a way to win another piece here. So yeah, I think he should just trade queens and go for the endgame, but maybe he's looking for something better. Like you're supposed to. This knight is trapped in the corner, basically, too. So it's a problem. There he goes. Now he's going to move his bishop. Back there. Yeah, so I have to do something to get my knight out of trouble. What's that going to be? Probably bishop here. So how do I get to that square? Or how do I defend it? Rook here and then up. You can take that with the knight. Okay, let's hit his bishop. Let's go here. Ah, he's going to bring another knight on. Okay, so I have an idea here. Ah, I brought his bishop out that way. Well, now I can play here. I can get my knight out and check and pick up a rook over there. That might be interesting. So he's going there. So I guess as soon as I move my knight, he'll move his king. Where will the king go? But anyway, it was important to get my knight out of trouble. Yeah, it goes to attack. Can't go here. See, I kind of wanted to play pawn up, but he just takes my knight then. So now he can grab this pawn, and he does. Okay, but my knight got out of trouble, so I accomplished something. Now I need to get my pieces a little better organized here. See, if I just trade, can I move the knight somewhere good? Or should I kick it? Where's the knight going? Here, here, here. Let's kick that knight first. Oh, I'm hanging my bishop. let's resign. Got too carried away there. Yeah, let's play one more game. Last game for this stream. Let's Been a good stream, everybody. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've had some fun. Let's see what's my rating ending up at. Ended up at 1818. Yeah, I gained rating points in spite of some suspicious play. Very suspicious, as Ben Feingold likes to say. Okay, let's go back to knight f6. And maybe we'll get a Nimzo. Yeah. One of my old all-time favorites, the Nimzo. He plays bishop d2. I've seen that quite a bit recently. I don't know if somebody wrote a book about it or something. It's not one of the main lines, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know that they play that way. That's a bit interesting. Okay, let's block the pawn there. And well, here there's no need to trade. So let's keep the bishop for a move or two. Let's get castled. So it's a bit like a Benoni with my bishop here instead of fianchettoed. Yeah, he can play that. So if I push up here, if I take, which way is he taking back? If I take and he takes with the e-pawn, I have a check. He blocks. Well, I get the open e-file and opens up a line for this bishop. And if he takes with the other pawn, then this bishop gets a nice square on b6 maybe. So I think taking is good. He's played lots of pawn moves and he hasn't castled, and his development isn't all that great. So I think there may be a way to get a little more development even, and the bishop can still go here. At least for the moment. Can bring my knight out to a good square on on e5, and he finally got castled. So I'll just bring my bishop out and put some pressure on the c-pawn with rook to c8. That's my plan. And okay, he trades. That changes things a little bit. I could now just consider pressuring this bishop here. Okay, he wants to take my bishop. I think that's a reasonable ambition for the young knight. Go ahead and take that bishop. I pause to defend. Okay. Do I have a check here? Knight here, check. Say, bishop takes here, check. King takes. Knight here, check. King moves. Knight takes bishop, or maybe the queen comes out. Where does the king move to? Knight here, check. King goes back, probably. And the queen, where can the queen? The queen can only come out to f6 or h4. And taking the bishop doesn't actually do much. Well, oh, there is an idea here. Check. Maybe it doesn't work. I was thinking bishop out, pinning that bishop here, pinning, attacking this bishop, but it's not really pinned, is it? So queen here, he'll just play rook to f8. Queen there. He just needs to defend the f2 square somehow. And I need to get my bishop out and my other rook into the game. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, I think that's fine. So bishop here, he just takes it, and I don't have a good follow-up. Bishop here, he takes it, and at least I'm pinning a pawn. Or bishop here, just to just to open the way for my rook to double. So that's kind of what I wanted him to play, isn't it? Or is it not working? So knight takes, bishop takes. The rook, this bishop is not hanging. I needed one more move. So if I double the rooks and he takes, and I take with the rook, he can just move his bishop. I don't have the back rank. He's hitting that guy. That's annoying. Yeah, it didn't work out. Did not work out. And black is going on the counterattack. Oh, I had to trade queens there. Well, I'm going to play one more game in that case. In that case. Don't want to let it end like that. Probably a sign I should quit, though, right? If I'm playing like that. We'll see. Last game for sure. Sicilian. Oh, I hadn't played the French this session. Maybe I should have played that, but I haven't. What, I played E5. Yeah, I think I did play a Sicilian once already. Could have played the French or the Scandi. Oh, that's right. I played the Sicilian, and he went for the Smith-Morad gambit, and I declined, and we got into a line of the Alapin Sicilian. That's what happened in that game. I think I did okay there. Okay, I'm going for the classical Sicilian here. Edisto. So, another fairly rated player. He just attacks the knight. That's a way to play. If you take back with the pawn, I think this is good for black. Have more center influence here. And I don't know. E5 is a questionable move because you might want to play E6 and D5 instead. But it does stop white center pawns from coming forward. And you set up the idea of playing D5 later. Just have to keep the D6 pawn defended in the meantime. Shouldn't be too hard. It's like this. He can take the knight, dragging my bishop away from defense of that d-pawn. That's a problem here. So I defended it with the queen. takes him a move or two to get another piece on it, so I can have time for rook d8 and bishop here. He just castled. Because of the Sicilian. You know, you can have a lot of fun with white in the Sicilian. The open Sicilian has a lot of exciting stuff you can play. But it's a very solid defense for black, of course. Yeah, so it looks like, well, let's question the bishop here. What are you doing, bishop, sir? You're going to stay there. Okay, let's question the other bishop. What are you doing, bishop, sir? Right, taking. Okay, so now I can play d5. And he can try and exploit these weaknesses. I think this all works. This pawn is pinned. The c pawn is pinned by his queen. But when he takes, I take back with the e pawn. If he takes with the knight, I can take with the knight. If he takes the bishop, I can take back. I think it all just barely hangs together. So he just moved his queen back. So this should be good for me. Let's see. Should bring my rook over here, defend things, and threaten. Maybe threaten indirectly the queen. So his knight now that my queen is not pinned, and the pawn is not pinned against my queen, this knight has no good moves. So, and my knight can go to here and here. Okay, but it can't go there immediately. So he wants to pile up on that pawn. Okay, let's take a moment to defend that e-pawn. That's an important pawn. And then I'll think about maybe queen f7 allows me to play knight to h5 to f4. That might be interesting. Okay, and he starts to relocate his knight. So that opens up this knight e4 square for me. Okay, should I take the bishop? I think so. Go for a bishop versus knight game. He took with the h-pawn. Well, I can treat the f-pawn as a backwards pawn and just try and pile up on it. He has knight to knight g4. I guess I'm not worried about knight g4. So he's looking at the oh, he just played there. I was wondering if he was preparing c4 to undermine. I guess taking. I mean, then I would have to move the bishop. Anyway, I wanted to play like this. I'm trying to get some pressure against this pawn so that I can enable bishop takes g3. Maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe it's just not happening. Now he plays there. So if I step aside with the queen, I guess I should push the pawn in this case. Maybe this is a way to kind of undermine him. Oh, I see. The rook defends against the push. Yeah, that's good. So I have to take, I guess. I'll take with the knight, and then I can put my bishop here. It does help me pile up against his f-pawn. So queen takes. The e-pawn, I think, is not possible. Because I'll have three pieces attacking, and he only has two defending, just the king and the rook if he takes there with the queen. But it leaves me with the weak pawn. Oh, but I can push it forward, maybe. So he goes back to blockading. So my queen were here. Bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, king takes. And we go into a king and pawn endgame. And it actually looks very even. Can I push my other pawns forward? I don't know. I'm going to drop the bishop back just so it's secure. Couldn't find a good move there. And I'm going to step aside with my queen. Wonder if I can get something over on the king side. He's got those covered. Yeah, I am the YouTube Jim's chess videos, or Jim's YouTube channel. That's me. I'm doing this kind of badly, wandering my king over to the queen over to the king side, but I'm doing it kind of slowly. So yeah, good call, RPD 350. I'm the same Jim. So he's going to chase my bishop off this nice diagonal here. I don't want that. I like that diagonal. Oh, it was Jim's Chess Channel. That's my name. Can't remember the name of my own channel. So yeah, and I'm Jim's Chess on Twitch. I also play Go on Twitch if you're interested, but I kind of alternate. But the streams usually tell you which one is which. Well, you're forced by Twitch to categorize your streams, so it's usually pretty clear. Sure, we can play a game sometime. This stream is almost over, so probably not this stream, but some other time. So it looks like he's going to round up a pawn here. So if I let him have that pawn and just push forward on the queen side. But there's no real reason to let him have that pawn, is there? Push forward on the king side, I mean. See, if I play h5 now, he has queen c5 forking the bishop, and the forking the bishop and the pawn. Oh, he just trades. Okay, well, there was probably no way to avoid that in the long run. And he defends there. So is the knight just going back where it came from? Is that the plan? His plan is to, I guess, take this pawn. By doubling rooks. I was going to take this pawn in exchange. Fair hostage. Ah, yeah, he did that fork trick I was talking about, but I get this pawn. Just running low on time here. Goes back. So if I push this forward, he can just take it. I take, he takes, I take. And it'll be a double rook end game, where he has doubled pawns and I have an extra pawn here. So I can pause to defend. Let's see. Yeah, I can still play for something here. Ah. So what is this going to be? If I take here, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Yeah, I'll be a pawn up. So I got some minuscule advantage here. This should probably be still a draw, but you know what I can do? I can try and cut his king off and then walk the pawn down. So I guess this is a drawing endgame if he knows the technique. Is this a draw? Take, he takes, I go forward. He comes up. I step in front of the pawn. He steps in front of the pawn. He gets the opposition. I take, he takes, I go here. He comes here. I go here, taking the diagonal opposition. He comes up. I think this is a winning king and pawn endgame. Has to be played carefully. That's the key move. If I'm right, if this is a win, I can get the opposition here. That is definitely a win. I don't know if he had other ways to play it. Maybe he didn't have to go there. He allowed me to get the opposition. And then if you're in front of the pawn on the third rank here, this is a win. Let's see. Let's... Even without the opposition, it's a win. I forget how it goes, but it's got to be a win. Yeah, it wins just by pushing the pawn. Okay, it's too bad I didn't have time to actually calculate that out. I was hoping my memory was correct because I only had 17 seconds here. Okay, well, that's a good way to end the stream. I'm happy with that. So thanks, everybody, for watching. And I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to be traveling, taking a little vacation time, so I won't be streaming for about a week. And then I should be back with some more stuff. So I will see you all then. Bye.